I don't think we really did.
That's crazy. Have somebody ever asked you that before?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Vlad asked us that shit like damn near 20 years ago.
Oh yeah.
That was one of his first viral videos when he asked us that question. I didn't answer it. Young Noble did, rest in peace. He answered the question, but that was one of the first time Vlad had a viral moment.
Yeah, absolutely. That's crazy. So I want to ask you about the song, one of my favorite songs of all time, and which I feel like the greatest diss song of all time. I don't even know how they got the other dude even close to that, but did he hit y'all like, hey man, suit up? You know what I'm saying? We going in, or how did that whole hit 'em up thing come about? We know how it got there to that point leading to there, but like as far as the song, which I was just in the stool one day, like man, we about to just write, or he called y'all like, look, we gotta.
Nah, Hit 'Em Up was actually a song we talked about when he was locked up in Dannemora Clinton prison.
Not Clinton?
Clinton, yeah.
Oh, he was in Clinton?
Yeah.
So he was beefing with you know who before he got out?
Well, he felt like, and he's on record speaking about this.
Yeah.
But he had certain feelings that he felt, you know, the way it was handled when he got shot and he got robbed, he felt like certain individuals didn't have his back.
Yeah, played the
back. Like he would have had their back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so, you know, Hit 'Em Up was absolutely a song we talked about while he was in prison, and when he got out, we just followed the plan.
I mean, did it happen?
It was
right
a bunch
away,
of songs we came up with.
Or it took another incident to happen before he's like, nah, you know what, that song that we was talking about, let's go ahead and record that. Yeah, y'all did it. So y'all did that before y'all was with Death Row?
Nah, we did that when we got to Death Row.
Like right when y'all got there, you already had it in it, like in the chamber?
I don't remember exactly when we did it because we was recording around the clock. So
yeah.
It was just one of the songs. Like we did a version of it, and it was more like a freestyle. And then, you know, Pac was like, nah, we're gonna turn this into a real song. And so we did it over. And so we did it over sometime in '96.
Classic.
Yeah.
Turned into a classic.
Yeah.
Do you remember the like hearing it? Was they playing it on radio back then?
They played it on the radio for a quick minute, then they banned it.
Hurry up and banned it. Yeah. But like, where the streets got a hold to that, do you remember the reactions of the street? Like when y'all getting calls from like the East Coast, like, bro, like what's the...
For sure. My cousins used to call me and put the phone out the window. Like, man, they been riding up and down the block playing this damn song every day, and we'd be able to listen to them, you know what I mean, playing the song on the block.
So they was playing it on the East Coast?
Absolutely.
Is that right?
Yeah. Because one thing about New York and the East Coast, they appreciate good hip hop and battle rapping. And, you know, I started as a battle rapper. I used to battle niggas and shit. You know what I mean? Rap against other niggas for money and shit like that. And so that was just really like battle rap to me, put on wax.
On wax.
You know what I'm saying? And so, you know, New York appreciate great hip hop, even if, you know, they may not agree with it. You know what I'm saying? And so,
absolutely.
And even though, without a doubt, Big was the king of New York at the time, you know what I'm saying? Arguably the best rapper out of New York at the time. Not everybody was a Biggie fan on the East Coast. You know what I'm saying? You had some people that wasn't fans of Big or you know, Bad Boy and their style of hip hop.
Yeah.
So, you know, we had supporters out there too.
How did you feel when Pac and Dre relationship started to turn, like, you know what I mean? At first they was cool. I'm assuming it was cool. You correct me if I'm wrong. They started off, you know, with the hits or whatever. When it started turning left, like, how was you feeling about that? Like, or did you feel anything?
I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. I didn't really feel no kind of way because at the time we were so new to Death Row. Like, Death Row was a moving entity when we got there. You know what I'm saying? They had different sides. You know what I'm saying? They had different sides. They had a red side, blue side. You know what I mean? They had, you know, Dre and his camp. And so it was kind of already kind of separated. And then we come in there and we just, you know, we fucking with everybody. It's all love, you know what I mean? And so for us as the Outlaws, it was like, you know, Dre wasn't never really that much around when we got there. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't really.
On his way
I
out.
probably seen Dre in the studio about maybe once or twice when we got there, and you know, Dre eventually left Death Row like pretty quickly when we got there.
Oh, okay. And what about with him and Snoop? Like when they relationship, you know what I mean, started getting rocky. I don't know if they was able to bring it in before, you know what I'm saying, he ended up passing, but like how did you feel about that? Like dang, it's Snoop, like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, they started off cool.
Their relationship was great for 98% of the time. Pac was at Death Row, you know what I'm saying? Snoop and Pac was like, you know, brothers in a lot of ways, you know what I mean? They definitely were super tight. Pac was, you know, very supportive of Snoop when he was fighting his murder case and going to court and showing up. And, you know, Snoop was very, you know, Snoop and the Dog Pound, they was very generous with, you know, their time, their energy, and their music. Dad's doing production, you know what I'm saying? Corrupt. Shout out to Corrupt and Daz, both of them my brothers to this day.
Big homie, shout out to both of them, yeah.
You know what I mean? It was just all love, and then, you know, they had a disagreement. Everybody know about that disagreement, and they never got a chance to work it out. But I feel like personally they would have worked that out. You know what I'm saying? Because they was that tight. It would have never, in my opinion, been something that lasted or went any further than where it was at.
Yeah, with all respects, how did you feel when the affiliation started to come around? When him and Suge was like coming more than like business partners, it was like, you know, he was taking him on the wing and he started picking up certain affiliations and stuff like that. How did you and the Outlaws feel about that, or if you felt any type of way about that?
I mean, that wasn't really a surprise to us, man, because if you knew Pac, you know he was a very loyal guy. You know what I'm saying? He was, you know, if Pac fuck with you, he fuck with you the long way. You know what I mean? And even to this day, I hear more and more stories of different people that had that same experience with Pac. Like, yo, you know what I mean? I was having an issue and Pac jumped in and you know, rolled with me. You know what I mean? And it's story after story after story of this man just being that kind of dude, you know what I'm saying? Even with the incident in Atlanta where he shot the 2 cops, you know, that was literally a situation where he seen a brother getting jumped in the street, you know what I mean, by 2 white guys.
Yeah.
And he just hopped out the car and was like, nah, I'm not, y'all not on my watch. Y'all not doing that on my watch. You know what I mean? He could have went upstairs to his hotel room and been like, look, that ain't my issue. You know what I mean? I'm going upstairs and I got these women with me. I got my homies. We finna go do what we do. But that wasn't him. You know what I'm saying? And so him being loyal to Suge and loyal to the people that he felt at the time, you know, threw him a lifeline when nobody was trying to throw him a lifeline. That wasn't really a surprise to us because that was his character and that was his nature.
But what would you say with the #1 album in a country? Why didn't he have? Why wasn't that situation right? Like when he went to jail, like if I'm not mistaken, he had the #1 album in the country, right? Like what was they trying to like get over on him or something? Like, or they was trying to hold him hostage, or what was that situation? Like how did that even come to that? Like with a #1 album, you would think that like, nah, this our artist, we not gonna let him out. Like how did, I know they say Suge when bought him out the contract or whatever, you know what I'm saying, or however that went, but how you got an artist that's the #1, or was it just like the case, or what would you say about that? Like how did that come about?
Well, I mean, at the time, Pac was fighting like 13 different cases.
Oh, was he?
You know what I'm saying? Around the country for different various charges and shit. You know what I mean? And so, you know, long story short, he was a problem and a headache to, I believe, to Interscope Records. And they felt like, look, he sells records, so, you know, we're not going to drop him so another label could pick him up and make a bunch of money off of him. But let's see if Suge can handle it. Let's see if Suge can handle him and you know, He's still on Interscope, but we ain't got to deal with him on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. You always wonder what happened with that, man. But as far as thinking back right now, what would you say you regret not doing or saying to Pac? Like if you like before, like if you would have knew like this was going to happen, or after this happened, like would you like now that you got it on your heart, like what would you say? Like, man, I wish I could have said this, or I wish we could have did this. We were supposed to do this, or anything, if anything at all.
Well, two things. First, I never really got a chance to thank him for giving me the opportunity that he gave me and he blessed me with. You know, I really, if I had another chance to have a conversation with him, I'd just thank him. You know what I mean? Because he changed my whole life. You know what I mean? And I always had this dream of being in the hip hop business as a rapper. And, you know, he made that happen with just being a generous dude. And the second thing I wish I could have told him, he probably wouldn't have listened to me, but when he got out of jail, I'd have told him like, yo, go on vacation for a month. Don't do no music, don't do no movies, don't do nothing. Just go on vacation for a month, because a lot of times, you know, us as young black males, we experience extreme trauma that we don't deal with. You know, we all deal with a lot of unresolved trauma. And the trauma starts from the time you really come out the womb and you can experience the world, and you start having experiences, whether you have a parent that's an addict, or, you know, you grow up in the ghetto, and, you know, you're seeing violence every day. You're seeing, you know, drugs and all the shit that we see in the ghetto. We don't deal with that. And if we do deal with it, we deal with it in unhealthy ways. You know, smoking, drinking, bad eating habits, you know what I'm saying? Having multiple kids and different women, and all kind of different ways this trauma is realized. And I don't think he ever had a chance to deal with any of it. You know what I mean? And of course, had he lived and survived and able to get to the age that, you know, I am, and, you know, a lot of his fans are, might have had a chance to go to therapy, might have had a chance to really, you know, deal with that, but he never got a chance to deal with that. So for me, I'd have absolutely been like, yo, Pac, just take a month off. Just go somewhere and don't deal with nothing, and then come back and get to work.
After knowing him his whole life, or your whole life or whatever, what would you think would be the best advice that he ever gave to you, or the best thing that you took away from him in his lifetime?
Just believing in yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, that dude absolutely was one of those people that absolutely believed in himself. And you used the word delusional earlier, and that's actually an accurate way to describe him. But he wasn't delusional, like, to the point where he got reality, you know, he didn't understand reality, or he was like, you know, out of his mind, but he was just delusional with confidence. He absolutely believed in his abilities as a rapper, as an actor, as a man. You know what I mean? And that's the number one thing I learned from him. Just believe in yourself, even if nobody else do.
Okay, so what ended up happening with you guys once the passing of Pac? What it ended up happening with you, like, as far as, like, if you could speak on it, like why was it like a lot of more outlaw albums? Could y'all like still make music under that name, or was it like contract wise, or y'all just like, you know what?
Well, actually, we did a bunch of albums. We just went independent.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? We started learning the business.
I remember y'all doing some albums, but I didn't know if, like, you know what I'm saying, what was, like, they dropped, the label dropped y'all, or was y'all still signing Death Row after it's passed, and, like, the business side of that, you know, so.
Yeah, we signed a Death Row after he passed. We signed a Death Row, like, 98. You know what I mean? That didn't work out. Suge was locked up. The label ain't really know what to do with us. And we was just over there, you know, stuck like Chuck. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We wasn't getting no money. And so we was like, we got to figure out how to, you know, eat. You know what I'm saying? Or we're going to be back on the block type shit.
Yeah.
And so we got off of Death Row, and we immediately went independent and started selling records independent.
Yeah, that's dope, man. Yeah, that's what's up. But as far as like Snoop, you said the Dog Pound, they showed y'all a lot of love. What would you say, like some of y'all best experiences coming out of Death Row, or if it's any at all, as far as with those people, Snoop, Dash, grew up. Did y'all ever do something with Warren G? I know he was running around there for a little bit as well.
Nah, we didn't get a chance to work with Warren G, man, and I always wish we could have. Nate Dogg definitely, he sang on the song Teardrops and Closed Caskets. You know what I mean? And so we definitely got a chance to work with Nate once or twice. But Dash, Corrupt, definitely worked with those brothers, numerous times. You know what I mean? Daz was actually running Death Row for a little bit. You know what I mean? And so he was pushing for us and trying to get our album released. It just didn't happen. And so, my fondest memories though was always in the studio in Can-Am. You know what I mean? Death Row at that time had so much talent. Even they had so much talent that people never even got a chance to hear.
You know
what I mean? Like super talented individuals over there at Death Row. And so, I just got a chance to learn a lot. I learned how to make records. Like Death Row really, they was making records for real. You know what I mean? And not just going in the studio, playing around.
Yeah, I know you probably did a million podcasts, man. They probably asked you this. But if you could let me bless me with, and the fans and the interviewers out there, what could you say? Tell us something that probably nobody knows about Tupac Shakur, and what nobody knows about E.D.I. Amin.
Man, it's hard to tell you anything that don't nobody know about Tupac, man, because there's so much information out there on him, and then it's also so many lies about him. And
okay, well, I'll switch it up. What are some of the lies or rumors that you hear that you like, what, let me clear this up today? Like, are you heard?
That's one of the reasons why I started my own channel, man, E.D.I. TV. And I do a segment. I do a segment called Talk My Truth, where I discuss certain things that I hear, the bullshit that I hear. I touch on it. Some shit ain't even worth my time. You know what I mean? So I'm not even gonna touch on the real ridiculous, outlandish shit. But every now and then I have a little extra time and I decide to discuss it. You know what I mean? And I've heard all kind of shit, man. Like Pac shot himself in New York, and you know what I mean, when the robbery, you know what I'm saying, and shit like that. But sometimes the lies is more entertaining than the truth. So sometimes I let the lies fly, man, because
that's a fact.
I understand this is all entertainment.
That's a fact. Look, so a quick story. I don't know if you heard this or not, but I'm pretty sure you heard it. But like when I was a kid, I was 10. I was 10 when Pac lost his life, but I held on to it for life. I remember I used to just listen to the CDs and it was like, nah, he's still alive. He on another island. You know exactly what I'm saying, bro. I held on for that for so long, bro. And I know it's like that. They ain't never happened to me again in life. But I'm saying like his music was so influential and it was so powerful, bro. He was so much of a big figure. Like, and I just know, and I was a kid back then, but I know grown men and grown women was thinking the same thing. Like, really had this, like, you know what I'm saying, had this thought and this story. We didn't want him to be gone so bad. Like I was really holding on to that. Like, and they're like, yeah, just listen to this song. And he say, I'm still alive. You know what I'm talking about, man. How like like how did that like even know like, dang, these people like can't accept the fact that he really gone? Like how did you take that, or did you say anything about it at all? Like how would you feel like? Because I was one of those persons. I was a conspiracy theorist when it came to Pac. I would not accept the fact that he was gone, bro. I couldn't.
Yeah, Pac was a real smart dude, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And he read a lot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he understood his power, but he also understood the need, the value in creating mystery around yourself. You know what I mean? And he would tell us mystery will help you live forever. That's where Outlaw Immortals came from. You know what I mean? And so he definitely understood that.
So as of lately, you know, AI technology it's pretty much taken over the world, especially the content space and the web, period. How does it make you feel, if you feel any way about it? It's like a lot of fake Pac posts or music with him or just quotes of people using AI to reenact certain scenes or portray him or other people in a different light when you know it's not Pac. Do you take it personally? Are you for it? Or are you just totally against it?
Well, I never take it personally because I know it's not a personal thing that's being done. I understand that, you know, with technology gives us the ability to do certain things that we never had the ability to do. You know what I mean? Like literally bring back a person, not physically, but image-wise, you can bring a person back that's been gone 30 years. Mm-hmm. That's incredible.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? You got to respect technology and the advancements we've made in just a short period of time. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And it's only going to start happening quicker because with artificial intelligence, this shit just learns from what we do as human beings and it perfects it. So let me get that out the way. I always respect technology and evolution. However, just because you could do some shit don't mean you should do it. Mm-hmm. And so we as human beings, we as people, we got to be able to regulate ourselves and say, okay, this man still got family. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? He still got people that love him and that miss him every day. And when you open up your phone and you see some AI image of Tupac in Cuba, you know what I'm saying, hanging out with, you know, Martin Luther King or something like that.
Crazy.
It's like, come on, we don't have to do that. You know what I'm saying? Let's not do that because that's not cool. And at the end of the day, he ain't here no more. Yeah. You know what I mean? That we lost that gift. You know what I mean? We should appreciate it a little bit more when it was here. And because we didn't, not saying we as us, because we absolutely appreciated him and the people that loved him, such as yourself and the fans, but the other people, you know what I mean? Nah, let's not do that. That ain't cool.
Absolutely.
And the fake AI music too.
Yeah.
Like, you know, cats be trying to send me like songs. It's like, like, it's trash.
Yeah, get that out of here. So what would you say or how would you feel about I don't know if you heard this before or whatnot, but supposedly Angie Martinez or Charlamagne the God, they got like an unreleased Pac interview or whatever the case is. How do you feel like them waiting now or obtaining the footage to want to put it out now? Like, you know what I'm saying? Do you think that tarnish his legacy or, well, nothing can tarnish his legacy because that's a minute, but.
Amen.
Yeah, you know, like, do you think they coming for like portray him in a different light? And do you think it's like flat out disrespectful, like, you know what I'm saying, to wait this long? Or if do you even think it's real? They could be, you know what I'm saying, bluffing.
Well, nah, he actually did the interview with Angie Martinez. I was there for that.
Oh,
so
right?
I know it's an actual interview. And he actually wanted to do the interview. You know what I mean? I think he requested her to come out and do the interview. And
word. So it is confirmed. It should be some footage then.
Yeah, and a lot of people know about that interview because she released maybe a clip or two a few years back, but she never put out the whole interview in its entirety.
So she been holding that for dear life.
And I actually commend her for that because most people would have ran and put that out. And I, you know, my opinion on it real quick is that if she didn't put it out, then why put it out now? To me, it's dated. It's 30 years old. Obviously, it was how Pac felt then.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Had he lived, he might not even feel like that no more. You know what I'm saying? He might, I'm pretty sure the kind of guy he was and as intelligent as he was and as evolving as he was as a man, he would have been off a lot of the shit that he talked about in that interview. He wouldn't even be in that headspace no more. So, me personally, you know, I don't think it has any value other than give some people, you know, something for people to talk about.
All right, man. I got 2 more questions, legend. Tupac got a daughter. Everybody saying it's Tupac got a daughter out there, man. Can you confirm that or deny those? I want to know. Do we got any children?
Tupac don't have no children, man.
Okay, that's a question definitely I wanted to know and everybody else would know. And also my last question:
if he did, we would know by now.
Yeah, if you can, rest in peace to his mom.
Absolutely.
Yeah, rest in peace to the queen. A lot of people want to know where's his estate, like whatever happened to his estate, as far as like, you know, from my understanding, she ended up getting the estate back or whatever. Now she's passed and he doesn't have any kids. Who has the Tupac catalog, if you could speak on it, or who has the estate?
Well, the Tupac catalog is owned by his estate.
Correct.
I mean, and his you know, she never lost control of the estate. She left certain specific instructions if she was to pass, how she wanted the business to be handled, and it's being handled in that way.
And distributed.
I mean, like it's being according to her wishes, it's being handled the way she wanted it to be handled.
Can we say it? Because you say it's family, or you can't.
It's a combination of both.
I appreciate you coming on, man. Cleese 93 TV.
Nah, man, I appreciate y'all having me, man. Great interview.
A legend.
Great
again,
questions, man.
A legend.
Yes,
absolutely
indeed.
a legend, man. Me to you, man. Big fans, man. Y'all legend, man. I swear to God, man.
Much love.
Absolutely, man.
I appreciate that. 100%.